This is a classic blues and R&B podcast. Mr. Chris Jasper is our guest. He's a writer. Hell, I didn't even know he was a lawyer until he sent that down to me. He's a lawyer. He's a singer. He's a father. He's a husband. So he's just an all-around guy, you know. Welcome, Chris, to our program here on WVO Classic Blues and R&B on WVON.
No, thank you very much. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, good to have you, man. You know, you're part of the royal family of the music and all that stuff. So, you know, you've done a lot of stuff, Chris. And tell the folks a little bit about you and what you've been doing with yourself. They think that where did he go? He got on that caravan and left. No, he didn't, folks.
No, man. Since Caravan, man, I've had a long solo career since Caravan. This is my 15th solo album, and it's called Dance With You. It came out, during the summer, and the single from there is called Show Somebody Love. It's kind of along the same lines lyrically as Caravan was, having people, get together and come together and, show love as an answer to a lot of our problems, So I'm real excited about the people picking up on it, and it's doing real well.
Yeah, well, that does sound like a good title. I've heard the song. Sounds good. I've heard several cuts from your CD, and it's a good CD there, Chris.
Thank you.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit more about what you've been doing and how things are going with you, Chris.
Well, yeah, like I said, I've been recording a lot. I'm working on. I have my own record label, Gold City Records. I've had that for a long time, and right now I'm working on a project with my son. He's writing a script for a film, and I'm working on the music for it. And it's really turned out pretty special. We're still working out some final touches on it, and probably try to get it to some studios, to get the film underway. But that'll take a little time. But I've been working on that too. So a lot of things I've been doing lately.
Yeah. So your son is into music too, huh? Or he's in film?
Yeah. Matter of fact, he just graduated law school and took the bar exam, and he's been working on. He works on the music with me, my rhythm tracks when I'm doing an album. So he's in there, giving his rhythm parts, and then but he's finishing an album on his own. But it's been kind of difficult going to law school because they have like a ton of work to do. So now that he's out, he's going to get back to finishing that, and also finishing up his script too.
Yeah, how many children you have? Speaking of children,
I have 3 sons. Mike's the youngest.
Oh, okay.
My other 2 sons are older. They've gone on and done other things. Nick does my album covers. He's the middle kid. He does the album covers and does a great job with that. And he's a graphic artist. Works on animation and a lot of other things. Paints and does a whole lot of other things. Chris is in the Army. He's in the service right now, and I don't know if he's going to make a career out of it or not. But that's he's seems to be something he's interested in doing.
Yeah, that's good. That's a good thing, as long as he's doing something productive.
Yeah.
And it sounds like they all are being very productive.
Yeah, I'm blessed. They're all good young men. Want to do the right thing, and just they're assets to their community. I'm really proud of them.
Yeah. Now you're in New York or New Jersey. Where are you?
Yeah, New York.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, I'm on the other side of the river.
Yeah. Notice you were born in Cincinnati, huh?
Cincinnati, Ohio. That's right. Mm. I moved to New Jersey, years ago. I lived in the New York area even longer than I was in Cincinnati. Right after high school, I moved to New York, and I've been here ever since.
Okay. And did you marry your high school sweetheart? You say you've been married 36 years. That's a good thing. That's a good record.
Yeah, I mean, no, not my high school sweetheart. I met her, when I was, with the Isley brothers, and I was I was actually going to meet with Frankie Crocker at WBLS in New York.
Yeah.
And she worked as the music director there, Margie. And I met her there, and we just kind of, dated for, a couple of years, and then we decided to get married after that.
Speaking of that, that's the song on your track, that's from her name? I mean, that's about her?
Yeah, Sweet Margie, yeah. Yeah, I wrote that song. It just came to me, one day I was sitting around, and the whole line just came to me, and I said, Margie, listen to this. I sat down at the piano and played it for her, and I said, listen to this. And I sang it to her, and she said, yeah, I think that's going to be nice, So, yeah, she's a special person, really is.
That is good.
Yeah. WBON, handshaking, back slapping, baby kissing, flag waving, soul loving, wow! Handshaking, back slapping, baby.
On the phone with us, we have our guest, Mr. Chris Jasper. Great musician, producer, songwriter, and all of that. He's done it for many years, and he is still doing it. Before the break, you heard a couple of his tunes that we did do, and we are still going to be playing more of his music. Chris, are you still with us? You didn't go to sleep out there on the East Coast, did you?
No, I'm still with you. I'm still with you.
All right. Didn't want to put you to sleep, Tell us a little bit more about your CD that you got out, and whatever else you want to tell us about it. I noticed you and the Isley brothers were together for many years. Was like most groups, y'all were family. Am I correct?
Yeah. Like we all grew up in Cincinnati, and actually we lived a few doors from each other. Same street, and. I knew the guys all my life. My sister, one of my older sisters, married Rudolph Isley, one of the older brothers. And that's when our two families really got close. And I just knew them all alive, and we just kind of formed together as one group. When I graduated high school, that's when I moved to New York, and I studied at Juilliard School of Music. And around that time, the three of us younger guys, we had a trio, me, Ernie, and Marvin. Ernie played drums, I played piano, and Marvin played bass. And, we had our own little group going, and we used to play at different high schools and churches and things in New Jersey. And at that time, the older guys were at Motown. And so, they used to see us play, and they used to come to some of our gigs, and we got better and better, and they wanted us to start playing with them. And so, that's how the six-member, group kind of got together. And we were together for a long time.
Yeah. Now, do you guys ever get together now as a group performing at any venues anywhere or not?
Now, right now, Rudolph, he has some health problems, so he's not doing anything right now. But Ernie and Ronald, they're touring right now as the Isley Brothers, and I'm doing my own thing with my own record label. So that's kind of how things are right now.
Yeah, and tell the folks about your record label again, how they can find you, your social contacts and all of the rest of stuff, how they can keep up with you.
Yeah, if you go to chrisjasper.com, that's my website. All of my music's on there. Whenever I'm doing something, an event or something, that's on there. You can reach me by to Facebook by chrisjasper.com, and you can also buy the music from there. You can go to all the stores that are selling the music at chrisjasper.com.
Okay. That seems to be the way that everything is today. You want a CD? That's what you have to do. Download each one, and because they can still get a whole CD from you too. Am I right?
Yeah, they can buy the physical CD as well. But a lot of people are downloading now. But they're both digital and physical CD. You can pick it up. chrisjasper.com. Yeah.
Now, you're doing much touring these days, Chris?
Not really, because of all the recording I had mentioned before.
Yeah.
I've been doing a lot of. I did like 4 albums in like 3 years, you know. You know, I've been doing in the studio a lot, you know, which is, you know, that's the part of the business I really like the most, is creating new music, you know, a fresh song, you know, there's nothing like that to me, you know, to go in and make a new song and have it come out, you know. So that's what I've been doing, and mostly, yeah.
Yeah, and now you're also producing other guys, right? Other people, I should say, not just necessarily guys, but you're also producing a lot of stuff for them, right? Correct?
I did some. I signed some artists, you know. I don't know, back in this has been several years ago now, and there was one group, Brothers by Choice. I produced an album for them, and Liz Hogue. That was a long time ago, but she was an artist on Gold City. And Out Front was a gospel group, and too bad one of the members passed away a few years ago. So you know they had to break up. But you know, and then I'm producing my son's records. You know, I'm helping him produce and get his stuff together. So that's kind of who I've been working with in the past years.
Yeah. Now, speaking of gospel, now you're also doing gospel music as well, correct?
Yeah, I did 4 gospel albums, total gospel albums. And on this album, this latest CD, Dance With You, there's a inspirational song, It's a Miracle, and which is talking about, a lot of the things that Christ did, healing the sick and all that. And it goes into a lot of things that Christ did. And it ends up saying that, I believe that you have a miracle for me, which is, the hope of every Christian, that Christ will perform a miracle for them. So that's a special song on the album.
Classic Blues want you to like our Facebook page. It's Classic Blues and R&B. Follow us on Twitter at WVON Henry, and subscribe to our YouTube channel at, of course, youtube.com/HenryCB. So check us out wherever you can find us at. You're listening to Classic Blues and R&B on the greatest radio program. There he is. And don't look at me like that. You working on you with the big shot now. When I say I'm great, that makes you great. You're listening to Classic Blues and R&B on WVON 1690 AM.
WVON, handshaking, back slapping, baby kissing, flag waving, soul loving, wow! Handshaking, back slapping, baby kissing.
Yeah, Chris Jasper is the gentleman, our guest on the line today. That's What Love Can Do by Chris Jasper. And you also heard Billy Jones Blues Band, chiseled in stone. He was also talking about that same thing. You heard Lloyd Price, The Smoke. And you heard the Isley, Jasper, and Caravan of Love, all here on Classic. You heard Queen Emily as well. All here on Classic Blues and R&B. All right, Chris, we back to you. Talk to me, man.
Oh, yeah, man. Yeah, it's good when you play Caravan. Yeah, it brought back a lot of memories, man. Oh, yeah. I love that song, yeah.
Yeah, it's a great song. I have no question about it, It's a very good song. I mean, it was you guys were doing, laying it down. And you did the writing on that, right?
Yeah, I wrote it and sang it and played just about everything on there. Ernie played guitar on there. Mm-hmm. And that was it, man. That was a great session for us, and it was an important record, in a lot of ways. Mm-hmm. For the three of us young guys, number one. Yeah. It was the number one record and kind of established the group, and then the message in the song, it was just such a good positive message, that went worldwide, Yeah. An English group, the House Martins, covered it, and it became a European hit, too. So that message went all over the world, and that, as a songwriter, that was very pleasing to me because, those are the kind of messages I like to get out there, like show somebody love, look at what's best in people, and bring out the best in yourself,
Right.
And that's what I'm all about, anyway.
Hey, Guardy, what made you decide to go to law school?
Oh,
it seems like you're educated all the way. I mean, that's just, a lot of folks think that's not true. A lot of guys do understand what needs to be done, right? So they make sure that everything is covered for tomorrow.
Oh yeah, I've been in the business a long time, and I had some experiences, and that I didn't really appreciate, and wish had gone another way.
Mm-hmm.
So I really wanted to go to law school to learn about contracts and copyright. What the law had to say about those two things in particular, and it's very helpful. Even for me having my own record label to understand the law and how the law applies to music, and that's why I went back. And like I'm a person that never stops learning. I just feel that the more you know, the better off you'll be. The more things you can avoid. The bad things you can avoid. And you can give yourself an advantage in a lot of ways. And that's what really levels the playing field for you out here is knowing the rules, the rules of the game.
Oh, that's true.
Sometimes I equate it to sports.
Yeah.
You go out on the football field, you play with a great team, you don't know the rules, you're going to get run over. And the same thing with life,
Right, I agree with you.
You've got to know the rules. You've got to know what you can do, what you can't do, what to avoid, not what to avoid, and how to negotiate and all those things. So I learned a lot by going to law school.
That's great. I see in 2015 you got received the German Record Critics Lifetime Achievement Award. Great honor.
Yes.
Great honor, right?
Yeah. That was great because, that was all the music that came through Germany, by the way. That wasn't just like R&B, it was, classical, everything. All the music that came through Germany, they chose, I did the album called The One, and it was that album that I got the award. That's what they based the award on, and I was just it was just a great honor to because I think the previous year it was a classical album that won that award. So that was a big one for me. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. There was something else I was going to ask you. I see you also got the National R&B Society Lifetime Achievement Award as well.
Yeah, that was another big one, because all the R&B acts that come through, and there's some great talent, that I grew up with, and even after that, and to receive that award, it was I feel really good, because it feels it lets me know that people are hearing the music, and it's meaningful in a way, and I guess that's all a songwriter can ask for.
Right, exactly. Excuse me, exactly right. That's exactly what's you appreciate that somebody else recognized that what you've done.
Mhm. That all those things. Even the Grammys. That was in 2014, I believe it was, and that's another one. Where there's a lot of music out there and a lot of competition, and it's just great that over the years, people, they appreciate it. Like now I go on Facebook and people tell me, they're able to tell me directly, what they feel about my music, and that, we weren't able to do that before, before the internet.
Right.
And so that's really good for me because that's encouraging to hear the comments, that people have, and that's what it's all about, communicating with the audience. And when you can do that well, I think that's success.
Yeah, I see your song you did, "Addictive." I've not heard it. I'm not familiar with it. Is it one of the for the young group, or what is it? What kind of music is that?
He did that when he was 16. He was in high school, and he just started writing songs. He just started writing, and he has his own style. It's a little bit of EDM, and it's a little bit of R&B. It's kind of a mixture of things. And he did that when he was 16, and he's working on another project right now. And I can see his growth. He's growing, and his understanding about music is growing, and that's great to see.
Yeah. How many instruments do you play, Chris?
I play, piano, of course. Keyboards is my main instrument. But I play guitar, bass, and drums. So, I'm able to go in there and, lay down my tracks. Because I used to do that with the Isley Brothers. A lot of people don't know that I played guitar on some stuff with the Isley Brothers. I played bass on some of the songs, And I always played the keyboards. So, a lot of what people heard, was Chris Jasper. They just didn't know how much.
Yeah. Well, I know reading up on your biography and seeing some stuff about you, I do see there's quite a bit that you were part of the Isleys that made it really kick.
When I did string parts, I did the string arrangements. I wrote out the charts and directed the session. With the string players and all. I did an awful lot with that music. That's why I can do it today. I can make my own music, and it has the same sound, basically.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And that's because of I was very, very involved in the recording of that stuff.
That's a good thing. And let me ask you this, Chris. Now, a lot of folks don't realize what they call session guys. They got a lot of great music. I was talking to an artist once, and I said to Jackson, what's some great guys? There was some great music. He said, you need to talk about the guys in the studio. That the music that they did, that they really did a lot of, because you had a lot of great artists, that, hey, studio work was regular, so that's what they stuck with, yeah. So, what are your thoughts on studio guys?
It's diminished quite a bit, because of technology,
right.
But yeah, I remember when we used to do a whole session with everybody playing at the same time,
Right.
And this was back when the Midnight Movers used to play with the group, Charles Pitts and George Moreland and those guys. We were all in the studio together. This guy they called Paco, George Patterson, he did the horn arrangements, and arranged the songs. And those guys are really, 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 really great musicians, and even Motown, they had the ensemble that always played on just about everything. James Jameson in there playing bass, which was like, I think he was one of the, probably of all the bass players at that time, he was doing something really, really special. He had his own fan club, Jameson.
Yeah.
And so a lot of great musicians back then. But now, you don't see many people playing, instruments, like that. You don't see the combination of instruments that much. You see basically, drum machines and, keyboards here and there. But, you don't see that ensemble anymore, you know what I mean? It's just a lot of people aren't playing music, and I wish they would, because it would make for more diversity in ideas, you know what I mean?
Definitely.
I always go back to the fact that when you look at the great music that we have, most of it came from musicians,
Yep.
You look at Marvin Gaye, musician.
Yep.
Aretha Franklin, musician. Both of them were great singers, but they were musicians.
Right.
Ray Charles, musician.
Yeah.
I can go on and on and on. B.B. King, musician.
That's true.
What I mean? Sly, musician. And Earth, Wind and Fire, musicians.
Right.
The younger guys, the younger part of the Isley Brothers, musicians. I mean, Motown, musicians. I mean, and that's where we had that great variety of styles.
Right.
Because Donny Hathaway, musician.
Yep.
Also great vocalist, but hey, he was a musician. He knew where he wanted to take his music. You know what I mean?
Exactly right.
And he took it to a different place than other people were going. And that's why when the song came on or something came on, you say, hey man, that's Donny Hathaway, or that's Ray Charles. They had their own identity. And that comes from musical experience, being immersed in music and having a musical direction, you know. And like I said, the majority of it came from musicianship, and I grew up in that, you know. I grew up right in the middle of that. And it was so rich, you know. Yeah, I studied with the great jazz pianist, Billy Taylor. I got that opportunity, you know. And incredible musician, you know. The guy was he was dazzling, you know, when he would play. Yeah. And I just wish that would come back, you know, some of that, you know, because it just enriches everybody when you have that variety, you know. And I think that's what's missing today.
Right, I agree with you. I wish these kids would learn how to mess up and learn how to figure it out. You're absolutely right, man. It's a great thing. I tell you what we're going to do. We're going to go to the top of the hour. We'll come back and we'll let you run after if you want to get out of here in the next hour. But we're going to go to the top of the hour, do the news, and we'll be back.
Another hour of Soul Power.
We have on the live line with us Mr. Chris Jasper, great producer, great singer, great writer of music, American music, great American music. That left here and went and it crossed the globe, so they can get it anywhere now. Mr. Chris Jasper is our guest here on the program. I want to thank him for that. Mr. Chris, talk to us, son. Talk to us. I'm a little older than you, I think.
Yeah, man.
I think I'm older than you. I think I can say son, you know.
I'm enjoying the show.
Thank you.
But, you know, I'm on the East Coast here, so it is getting a little late here. So
yeah, that's right.
I think I should maybe hand the show back over to you.
Yeah, well, you know, that's I tell you what, I was born on Standard Time, and I have no use for no other time other than that. On the East Coast, West Coast, it's all right, but I don't want that either. But you can definitely have that East Coast time. I'm so glad that I got off the train here in Chicago, not on the East Coast, man. My daughter's
it gets
in Detroit.
later here faster.
Yeah, my daughter's in Detroit.
No,
you know,
it's a great show, man. You know, I've enjoyed every minute of it.
Yeah, I want to thank you. You want to say anything before you leave out of here? What song you want to hear? I think we got it over there.
Well, you know, why don't we go out on some funk? Make your move.
Okay, make your move. Okay.
Yeah,
I think we got it over there. We sure you don't have it. We got to find it then. I should have sent it over there.
Okay, well then if you got us a miracle, that'll work too.
Yeah, and I know because I was going to take that birthday and send it out to my granddaughter. But yeah, you got us a miracle.
The
right?
birthday, yeah, happy birthday, yeah, either one.
Okay, well, okay, you can do that too. Yeah, you can do that one. Yeah, you can do that one. He'll be happy with that. You know. Mm-hmm. Anyway, Chris, I want to thank you very much for joining us here. Thank you for giving us your time, sticking around at this early hour on the East Coast. Well, it is early, you know. It's 2:30, you know.
Still after 2, man.
Yeah, you know, that's
still
it.
After 2.
It is early, you know. It ain't late morning, it's early morning. You know.
That's right. It's very early.
Yeah. But I want to thank you very much, Chris, and a lot of luck to you on your new CD. I enjoyed so far everything I've heard on it. And much praise to you. And keep up the great work, my man.
Well, thank you. And God bless, man.
All right, you take good care of yourself, and thank you again.
All right.
Bye
now.
All right, just heard Mr. Chris Jasper there on our program here. Still out doing it, folks. Still churning out great music, you know. So you can check Chris out on the World Wide Web. You can find him at Gold City Records, and you know you can. That's his label. You can find him on that. You can find him on Facebook. You can find him on Twitter, or wherever. You know, Gold City Music at goldcitymusic.com. His official website is chrisjasper.com. On Facebook is facebook.com/Chris H. Jasper. And on his fan page is at www.facebook.com/CHJ/Twitter. CHJ, I apologize about the Twitter. And on Twitter at Real Chris Jasper. and Gold City Music, as I said before, .com. So you can follow him, check him out, and download some of this great music or whatever and buy it or whatever they want to do with it. Thanks for joining our podcast here on our YouTube channel. Subscribe to us at HenryCB6175. Follow us on Twitter at WVON Henry and like our Facebook page at Classic Blues and R&B.